FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. It's for 1620. Well, coronavirus. Some people, there are winners and there are losers. And, well, if you want to be a winner and you want to know about winners, just email us, kl@kerrylutz.com, kl@kerrylutz.com. Well, our good friend, Captain Capitalism, Aaron Clarey, is with us now. And Aaron, wow. A-hole Consulting, the a-holes have come out of the woodwork. They don't know what to do. Are you the grand cult leader here? Are you the Charles Manson of the millennial generation here?
No, I'll tell you a funny story though. My parents get asked, what do your children do? And my sister is actually quite successful. I won't say what profession. My brother, he trades. And then when my parents are asked, well, what does your oldest do? They're kind of like, well, that's a little difficult to explain. And my folks are obviously, understandably worried that, how's finances? Do you still have your job? It's like, not only do I have my job, but revenues are up 40% because people are stuck at home. They got cabin fever. The only new form of entertainment is, podcasts or YouTube channels and social media. And the requests and the traffic has been coming in. And so it's, I know there's like you're recession proof, but this is almost contrarian where you're recession positive, where bad economic times. So I mean, yes, I'm complaining like anybody else about being stuck at home and the psychological effects. And I haven't murdered my wife yet and stuff like that, but we're all close to that. But in the grand scheme of things, no, I'm very fortunate to be part of this internet economy and to still have a job. So yeah, things are going really well.
Amen
maybe
to
not
that.
so for the country.
Amen to that. And this is going to be one of the greatest opportunities ever for people to really, if you can get your arms around it and make your just get past the fear and really put your goals ahead, you can clean up now. This is a golden opportunity. You and I, we've known each other 9 years now, and we've been talking about the next crash is going to be far worse than the crash of 08, 09. Here we are, the next crash has come. It was going to come anyway, even if there was no coronavirus, there would be something else that was going to precipitate it.
Someone would light the fuel. Yeah.
And unlike the last time where I was really freaked out and I thought it was the end of the world, this time I've been ready for it. I've been preparing for it. It didn't take me by surprise at all. Yes, I did. I won't lie that I did have a couple of down days when I thought, oh my God, what will I do if I get the coronavirus, right? And then it just occurred to me, I'm not going to get it. It's unlikely. It's possible. Well, I've had a pretty good run, and if I do, I'm okay with that. But it's unlikely that I'm going to. I'm not in the high-risk group. Age-wise, higher risk, but physical condition, definitely not. And then it dawned on me, Aaron, that this is it. This is our opportunity for greatness. We just have to seize it and not be like the sheeple. I mean, you really learn the meaning of sheeple, what's going on now, right?
Oh, yeah. No, right. And as you said, I guess a little bit of experience helps because we remember the dot-com crisis. We both remember the Volcker recession, but more recently, the financial crisis, 2008. It's like, if I only bought then. And now it's like, yeah, are you going to time the bottom? Probably not. Very few people. If you do, you're lucky. But I bought stocks 30% off their peak. And I'm trying to get my younger millennial and even Gen Z colleagues and friends or listeners say, look, I know you're complaining about your student loans, okay? But you also have to look at this as kind of a lifetime balance sheet or a lifetime income statement where your overall financial goal is to retire and retire well and retire early. So whatever disadvantage your student loans gave you, now is the time to earn that back on the cheap. The stock market crash has allowed it that you can, via retirement planning, make up for your student loans.
Yeah.
And but this is if you can get someone under 30 to even listen to you, to go and invest, not in anything. I'm boring. I do index investing, but hey, you were complaining about the cost of rent. You were complaining about their cost of tuition. Well, here's how you make it up. Now is the time to salvage your finances. But I think they just want to be angry and not avail themselves of it.
Yeah. Well, so retirement. Hey, look, I'm 62. I'm a boomer. And none of the okay boomer stuff, all right? I had enough of okay boomer already. Please, no more okay boomer. Actually, I don't really care. I find it kind of endearing that's the worst they can say about me is okay boomer. I'm not quite senile yet. So point here is I've been semi-retired since 1998. And let me define semi-retirement, because you're semi-retired too. You just don't know it, all right? And a semi-retired is you basically know what your needs are, you know exactly how much work you need to do it, and hopefully save for retirement. I could have done a better job, but a couple of divorces and a couple of lawsuits took care of that. But nonetheless, you work 20 to 30 hours a week, maybe. All right, you're doing what you want to do, and you could work more, but when you work, you're not really working. It's a project. All right, you're getting out a book or a new program or something like that. So semi-retirement is really the best because you have to keep your mind working. And one thing many of you out there, I'm sure, have realized from this lockdown is how important your work life is to your identity, your sense of being, your sense of value, and who you are. We, in this Western civilization, a lot of our identity and who we are is tied up in your work. And therefore, we've realized that when you don't have work, your life is really unbalanced. And then that you can't even go out and play, it's even worse. But so many of you I know can't wait for the quarantine to end, the lockdown to end, so you can immediately go back to work. You realize how valuable it is. So that's a good thing from there. And there's other benefits coming from this.
Yeah. And speaking to the value of work, I know everyone thinks like, oh, there's nothing worse than a job. Yeah, there is. It's called not having a job. And people are like, okay, you got all the time in the world to stay at home and all this and all. But man, if you don't, and it's not, I understand you don't want to lay sod or work McDonald's when you were a kid. But when you get to, you get an expertise or a specialty, you get older, you get experience, then you have a profession. It could be a funny, wacky profession like we have, if you can even call it a profession, but it's a profession of some kind. And it gives you something to do, gives you agency and purpose. And that's something this coronavirus has proven to a lot of people is like retirement. There's no such thing as retirement. The best you can hope for is semi-retirement, because what do you do when you retire fully? You will get tired of golf. You will get tired of fishing. You need something else to do while you still got it in you. And those are the people that usually live the longest too, is that they have something beyond mere leisure to do, but they have some kind of task, maybe not a job, but a task or an obligation to go to.
Yeah, you need to have hobbies for sure. And you need a dog. A dog will definitely cause you to live longer. I got my son's dog when he moved to Europe. And, it's been great having the dog. Hey, for me, I took your advice. I learned how to dance. And that's been huge boost, because I went to the doctor recently, new internist, and she looked at my medical chart and said, you're 62 and knock on wood, you haven't had any major anything wrong. You're probably going to live to your 90s. And I said, really? Maybe I should get a new doctor here. It wasn't my intention. I figured like high 70s, early 80s is really all I had in mind. And then I said, well, if I'm going to be here another 30 years, I better learn to do something else, or it's really going to get boring.
Yeah, or you're going to run out of money too.
Yeah. So the dance, hey, you never get bored of dancing. I've never met anyone who is bored of it.
Wait, Carey, are you saying dancing with young, svelte women and dancing with them, that helps extend life and health? Are you saying that pretty girls help with health?
Well, let me tell you this. So there's a guy called Dr. Dance in the UK. He's putting out a book. What he's found is, and the statistics seem to bear him out, is that if you dance regularly, your odds of getting dementia go down by either 69 or 79%. If you're starting to suffer from Parkinson's disease, dance is unbelievably good for Parkinson's patients because it enhances the flow of dopamine. Because, like dance to me is all about the dopamine. You're on a natural high when you are really enjoying it and you're really into the music. And then all of these things that you lose when you get older, spatial perception, recognition, 3D, your brain has to work harder because when you dance, your brain is 3D modeling the entire floor.
Oh, the entire time. Yeah.
And all of these things. So that's really, hey, whether dance is for you or not, Tai Chi will do the same thing. But it really, and I thank you for it, has made a huge difference in my life and opened my eyes to a lot of things that I was doing to not enjoy life. And happier people live longer, even if, as they say, only the good die young. If you're not so good, but you're happy, you'll last longer.
Right. Oh no, I think that's another great thing about there's a lot of upsides that a lot of people don't realize, but this is really giving people, they're unplugging from the matrix, they're unplugging from their commute, they're unplugging from work, they're unplugging from school, and then they're forced to revisit. This is forcing people to look in the mirror and say, is this worth it? Like, what have we done? What are my priorities here? And I think a lot of people, especially if they're being cooped up, they're going to start to appreciate, hey, I can go out and dance. I mean, you know how excited I am now just to be able to go to a restaurant and I don't have to call. Like I can go in and talk and tell the person my order over the countertop. I mean, just simple human interaction and appreciation for your fellow man. That's the lesson people are probably going to learn. I have a sad feeling they're going to immediately forget it once we go right back to the rat race. But for now, hopefully this gives people pause for thought, and they kind of rethink things through for the remainder part of their life, whether it's 50 years or 5.
Yeah, well, what I've noticed here in sunny South Florida, a lot of people, way more people walking around the street, on the sidewalk. Neighborhoods all of a sudden have taken on new importance. Back in the 50s, 60s, when I grew up in the 60s, the neighborhood was a big deal. And somehow the two-earner home, all of this, the demise of the family also led to the demise of the neighborhood. But now we're seeing a renewed interest in your neighbors in your neighborhood. And the idea, like where I am, I can actually walk to a bunch of restaurants, which of course are all closed, to a supermarket, which is open, but is enforcing social distancing, and to a whole bunch of other activities. Only thing that's not there is a dance place yet. Let's hope. Maybe I can rent out the LA
open up. Yeah, there you go. There's your retirement plan.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so much stuff in your neighborhood that you never even thought of because you're always busy riding away from your neighborhood looking for other stuff to do. Now, granted, in lesser densely populated areas, not so much an option, but even still, some people in those really spread out neighborhoods are closer than people who literally live on top of each other.
Well, and I was shocked, pleasantly shocked, because I like anybody else, I'm going for a run more because that's the only thing to do. Yeah. Minnesota, the weather right now, we got 4 inches of snow out there, but a couple of days ago, a week ago, it was 60s and you could go outside. And man, you saw it was like from my childhood in the 80s. There were people out in the neighborhood, their kids biking and playing, and dads playing wiffle ball. Some of the old ladies got a wine club now where they set their chairs apart on the thing on the parking lot, and they're just down in wine. And I have never seen. It's been 40 years, maybe 35 years since I saw something like that. That much vitality and activity going on in a neighborhood like that.
Yeah, it's a great thing, and so there's positives, negatives, there's winners and losers from all of these calamities. What is the craziest client you've gotten story as a result of the pandemic, Aaron?
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Silver One Resources is an exploration and development company backed by strategic investors Eric Sprott and SSR Mining. At Silver One's Candelaria Mine project in Nevada, there is already a historic resource estimated at 127 million ounces of silver, which Silver One is developing and advancing. The company's Phoenix Silver project, located within the Arizona Silver Belt, is an early-stage exploration project on which native silver vein fragments have been discovered near surface. One grab sample assayed an astounding 14,688 ounces per ton. Yes, that's right, ounces, not grams. Silver One has tremendous exploration potential, is extremely leveraged to the price of silver, and is cashed up and poised to increase shareholder value. Silver One trades in New York under the ticker SLVRF and in Toronto under the ticker SVE. To learn more, go to silverone.com. That's silverone.com.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Oh, I don't think I have any that are that sexy. A lot of it's cooped up. A lot of it is kids coming, like their school ends. And they're like, oh, I got to go on school online. And now they're kind of realizing, well, maybe I don't have to go to school online. Nothing off the wall. They're all kind of ho-hum regular ones. I wish there was something I could give you, some meat, some dirt.
Right, well, maybe really that's a good thing.
It's just ho-hum. I mean, it's business as it goes, and that's fine. It doesn't always have to be an exciting day. But don't worry, I have plenty. I save and archive my sexier stories that I'll put into compile a book when I'm about to retire. But that's way off in the distance.
All right. Well, semi-retire. Well, you're already semi-retired, and that is the best you can do. Really, unless you love to play golf 8 hours a day and you travel and you have 85 grandchildren and you go from place to place, mooching off your grandchildren and your children, it's just fine if that's what you want. But generally, the people who want to retire are the people who really got the least fulfillment out of their jobs and their careers during life. And it becomes retirement as a means of escaping something that's unpleasant and unhappy in your life. Whereas if you do what we're doing, that's not an issue and you never want to stop doing it. Yeah, slow down a little bit. I mean, I used to do 25 shows a week. Now I do 12 or 13, although with nothing else better to do. Now I've been doing more. But all of that, it really, it's there for you. And you can be happy now. You don't have to wait to say, oh, when I retire and they give me the gold watch, which they don't do anymore, then I'm going to be happy. That's a huge mistake.
Yeah. And like I said before, most of your listeners, most of my listeners, I don't think they're the type or the mentality to retire. Definitely I don't think that's in their psychology. I think they know that because either through watching other people or being observant or knowing themselves, they may think, oh yeah, I can't wait to stop working this 9-to-5 job. But I think everyone within earshot knows that they're going to have something to do, of which I recommend ballroom dancing, but you don't have to follow my advice. You can listen to Carey's advice.
And I second that recommendation. They always say you should do the things you most fear, do the things you most don't want to do. And I wouldn't say I feared dancing, but it's just groups. I never felt real comfortable in large groups of people. Didn't relate well in groups. I have lots of friends, but they're all like, onesie twosies. And, the whole dance thing has totally stood all of my social conventions on their head. And it's probably what I miss most about being locked down here. So, Aaron, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about your next upcoming book. What have we got in the hopper here?
Well, I got, I'm keeping them tippy top secret because I just finished a book about a month and a half ago, and it was a 440-page monster. So that, and I just don't have the writing in me. I do have 2 short little ones I'm going to write, but I'm keeping them hush, tippy top secret because I don't want anyone else getting the idea. When they come out, they're going to be essay length. And by essay, I mean traditional essay, like maybe between 50 and 100 pages, not lengthy at all, but shorter ones. But they're going to be more optimistic as opposed to, kind of like enjoyed the decline or financial planning or stuff, the boring, dry stuff. These are going to be a little bit more optimistic, a little bit hopeful. And one of them is I did it because someone says, there's no way you can write something positive, Clarey. There's no way you're going to write something. I said, all right, fine, challenge accepted. I'll show you. I'll do it with a smile on my face.
It's so beautiful.
You've written books. You know what a taxing
I know.
that is. Yeah,
it's really work. It can be work. And then
you got to convert it into all the formats. Then you got to market it. And I just want a breather. So I worked long and hard, like 4 months full time writing, and then doing all the other stuff. And I just kind of I'm done with that. So, but no, there'll be, and I'll let you know what they are. And I think you'd have an interest in both of them. But like I said, I don't want to spill the beans just yet.
Yes. Okay. Hey, well, we're really thrilled for you. And I know it's going to turn out well. And hey, you should be real excited because, it's what it's all about here. And, it's a great thing.
I'm this close to having a new house built where I've always wanted to live. My finances are looking pretty darn good. I'm very thankful, very thankful. It's just, but I'm only human. I'm not a machine. I gotta take some downtime too.
Yep. I gotcha. All right. Well, hey, it's been great having you on here, and we will definitely talk to you again soon. Just give us your web address where we find your work.
You can find me at a couple websites. My flagship site is captaincapitalism.blogspot.com. My I don't know what we call notorious site is called aholeconsulting.com, but it's not a-hole consulting. It's spelled all the naughty way.
Just spell it out.
And then I guess my more PG version is olderbrother.com, where you can check that out. And that's really just that's for people who are a little bit more polite than I am. And if you don't like cursing or swearing, that's what that site is for.
All right. Excellent. And hey, just tune us in here, financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Sign up for a newsletter. We got webcast coming on about the stimulus you don't want to miss. And just sign up for the email there, and you will get our free newsletter. Twitter feeds at Kerry Lutz, Facebook page, Financial Survival Network, and send us an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Aaron, been a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, Kerry.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.